June bringing up 3 wonderful daughters, one of them of course Janice. The second one is, I'd like to welcome Dave to the family, although you probably all know he's been here for some considerable time anyway. The third one is, and last, is I'd like to give some advice to Dave. Now, I always had a bit of a nickname for my daughters, well, and granddaughters. Janice used to be called Smelly. Now, that's not because I thought she smelt, but it's because she used to spend hours in the shower. Now, I don't know why, but I just assume she must have thought. Well, I never noticed, but anyway, she spent hours in the shower. So my advice to Dave is, don't ever, ever get a water meter fitted to the house. It will cost you a fortune. And that's it.
Hello? Yeah. We're just going to get some lights on because I can't see what I've just written down. I'm just going to go around there because I need an audience light. So, well, I'll just have to do that.
Right. You think she's in the school? You think that's his desk?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dave has asked me to thank everyone for coming. He is aware that people have had to drop other commitments to be here today, including Janice, who is taking a day off from posting pictures of Elizabeth on Facebook. Welcome, Janice. A round of applause for the bride, please. Obviously, I'm kidding here. Dave would never ask me to say such a thing. We all know he is far too big a pussy to cause a stir with his young, beautiful bride. And that is okay, Dave knows his place. As long as he can drive his friends and family around in a Skoda, not drink alcohol, wear those cool t-shirts that are, strictly speaking, the appropriate attire for a teenager, he is happy and content. Those t-shirts. Do you know what I'm talking about here? The ones featuring iconic musicians and offbeat TV shows, De La Soul or Breaking Bad, emblazoned over his chest. Dave, you don't have time for interesting TV and cool music. You really need t-shirts that represent what you're into now. And I've actually bought one for you. There you go, Dave.
Just went to see him and how you going to put it on?
Yeah, you tell her and get it on. Now, I said what he's into now, and I really want to stress the word now opposed to then, since Dave's life has changed since he's met the young Janice. And I want to stress the word young since Dave's previous romantic encounters were with old women. Well, entirely true, but let's just roll with this for a moment. Dave used to believe that pole dancing was getting drunk and using his girlfriend's walking cane whilst ballroom dancing. He used to brag about the fact that he could make any woman climax by the time it took her Stana stairlift to reach the first floor. You know that, you know that. Yeah, and you know, you know, he has some skills with this. Dave is adept at making love in a shower, as long as he can walk into it and sit down. Although his idea of a threesome is rather skewed, since he believes it entails pulling the red emergency cord, where a stranger's voice asks, "Is everything okay, Irene?" In turn, Dave would reply, "Yeah, baby, I'm taking real good care of Irene. You okay? What's your name? What are you wearing?" Irene didn't like that, and that's the reason they split up. Of course, I'm taking huge poetic license here, and poetry in the form of rap music is one of the reasons Dave and me are friends. I've known Dave since senior school, and what soon became apparent to me was his incredible knowledge of music, his wit, wry humour, stunning intelligence. Dave is so smart he was almost bought up by Google in 2008. He is search engine clever. Books it's taken me months to read, it has taken him days. And at times, he's read them in both French and English language versions. Dave is equally generous, forgiving and kind as he is brainy. And I think that these qualities are innate. However, I think his exceptional manners and respect for others, qualities that he shares with his brother Richard, are down to his parents, Mike and Margaret. Myself and the rest of Dave's and Richard's friends would often play pool at Mike and Margaret's house, his parents, in a room so small that not one of us had ever held a pool cue horizontally in there. But the cups of tea were refreshing, the music was eclectic, and the nascent friendships would last forever. Dave, can you explain what nascent means? Search engine clever, everybody. Dave left his parents' home for university life in Bradford, where you could get a curry and rice for £3, incredibly drunk for £5, and assistance with your BTEC national diploma absolutely free. Dave returned to Teesside with a 2-2 degree. Sorry, okay, 2-1 in something. And began work for Spa with a brief sojourn at a rival supermarket, and proceeded to break all records for hours worked over a single week, month and year. I remember a somewhat fatigued and emaciated Father Christmas trying to pull off breakdance moves in the Rudd's Arms, still with a Spa name tag attached to his costume, after returning from a long stint at a convenience store based in the wilds of the Lake District. Santa was escorted home that Christmas Eve, his duties passed on to a more energised substitute. Dave has always been extremely hard-working and I haven't. When we shared a flat together, I was not an ideal mate. I could never always coax or cajole him into a lad's night out. His punishment for his absence was a 3 a.m. wake-up call on my return. I would hold a mirror above his bed and scream his name at the top of my voice, only for him to wake up with a shocked and horrified face, his own face, staring at me. That's true. I'm sorry, Dave, and I love you really, man. Apart from selfish reasons for getting Dave out on the town, like the fact he was excellent company, that he didn't shy out of buying around, and that he would always collect your clothes if losing them due to dancing naked on a nightclub. I don't know which friend that was, but that friend was really grateful. There was a mild concern amongst Dave's friends that he looked tired, was not taking time off work, and that he could be happier. We could make our cases to Dave in as many foibled ways as possible, but with the best of intentions we couldn't change anything. But someone could, and someone did, and that someone is Janice. All of Dave's qualities are as apparent today as they always were. I think a sign of a true life partner is when they can see those qualities, love, protect, celebrate and encourage them, but also to add something that their partner needs. Dave needs Janice. She makes a genuinely amazing guy better. That is a genuinely amazing feat. Dave has never been happier or more content than when with Janice. I love being in their company, including that of their incredible daughter, Elizabeth. Sitting in their kitchen, eating and drinking and laughing, because the best parts of the old Dave are still on show, but the new one smiles more, his waistline is a little bigger, and he has his own family, a family that I'm proud to call my friends. To Dave and his family.
Okay, thanks everyone. Just a few sort of quick parish notices and then we'll get on to the real party business of drinking, dancing and trying to eat twiglets without getting that brown stuff all over your fingers. If anyone's heard me speaking before, you'll know it's not something that I really like to do at all, which thankfully Janice helps me with. I'll try and keep this mercifully short. I'm already a bit napped off that I've missed Pointless tonight. And, I'll be looking to get home in time for my usual Friday night routine of news night and cocoa, if it's all possible. Janice and I met many years ago. Was it 9 years ago? 8 years ago, okay. That's why we were both working in the Lake District. I don't recall like the exact date or time or where we were, but I do know one thing, it's not quite the best thing that's ever happened to me, but it's certainly right up there with the time on the 29th of February 2004 at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, when the Tables England scored in the 7th minute in front of 72,650. If that's it, my memory serves me correctly. I knew then that she was the one person that I'd want to spend the rest of my life with, that I'd always want beside me, with me all the time, pointing out my proximity to the car in front, helping me in my technique and perfecting making the perfect cup of tea. So, on behalf of my ex-girlfriend and now wife, and I would like to thank a few people without whose time and effort and support today wouldn't have been possible at all. So, firstly, we've got Janice's mum, June, who has spent ages hand-making the lovely dresses that you can see on our extremely bonny bridesmaids here. I'd like to thank you, June. Where is June? There's June there. I'd like to thank you for making me feel... Come on, look.
Oh, Jane.
Oh, yes. I can't remember this t-shirt. I'd like to thank you, June, for making me feel so welcome in your family from day one, really. Going back to the time when we'd only been going out for a couple of weeks and I chickened out of coming around your house for Christmas dinner and everybody there. You'll be amused to know that I stayed at home on my own on that Christmas day and ate an out-of-date pepperoni pizza. That made me violently ill on Boxing Day. That's an aside. Anyway, Jim, that's just a small token of our thanks. And we couldn't possibly express how much we do owe you, but everybody, a big round of applause. You can Next up, we come to Janice's pop, Terry, who very generously and with surprisingly little fight gave away his youngest daughter and I'm reliably informed his favourite daughter. Terry, it's not like you're losing a daughter, it's more like you're gaining a cat-handed idiot who's dodged DIY disasters you are now condemned to fix and repair for the rest of your life, especially now Emma and Mark have moved away. So Terry, everybody, round of applause. Right, just to speed things up a bit, because I know we're all getting hungry and we can't wait to get our dancing tunes on, but I really blame today on two people. Those of you who know me in my miserly ways know I would have been quite happy with a nice, boring little ceremony with just me and Janice, maybe Elizabeth at a push, possibly celebrate with a slap-up meal at McDonald's, you know, maybe a McFlurry if we're feeling particularly giddy. But there was no way that these guys were going to have that. There was no way they were going to let their little sister get away with that. They had to be there to provide the much needed moral support for them. So from sorting out all the decorations, the balloons, providing childminding services, photographer, personal shoppers, and especially once again to Alison for making, as you can see there, absolutely wonderful cake, which you're all looking forward to getting stuck into there. I feel like I'm gaining the two sisters that I never really wanted, but I actually don't like. So ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Janice's two big sisters, Alison and Right, next up we've got the guy who today is all about really, the self-proclaimed best man type figure, my former friend, aka N-Dog for all you cool kids out there, Teesside dancer to Bronson, that's not Charles Bronson but Mr. Bronson off Grange Hill. I'd like to thank him personally for organising a great stag do. Janice would like to thank him for making sure that I got home safe when I was apparently massively inebriated. I think I got off quite lightly from the stag do, really, just the one unwanted tattoo. But you know, I wouldn't mind so much, but I don't even know anyone called Rosie. So. And also in Janice's corner, fighting out of Marsden South Shields, we've got the wonderful matron of Honor Clare. Janice's best friend, going back to the time when they were in school together and they formed their own Spice Girls inspired gang called, I kid you not, the Missionary Women. Claire, you've always been there for Janice. Right the way back, well, even up to last weekend when you organised a wonderful hen night for her on the main streets in Chesterley Street. So, everybody, give it up for the best man type figure and the matron of Honor, Nathan and Claire. I think we can all agree that my gorgeous bride looks absolutely amazing today. It's quite surprising what you can get at Aldi nowadays. So we'd like to offer our thanks to Janice's pal Zara, firstly for turning up at the house this morning with a fried breakfast, which I would have married her on the spot. And also she's done a fantastic do on Janice's Barnet, despite being born herself severely ginger. And also would like to thank June's friend from way back when, Alison, who's slaved tirelessly making all the little wedding favours that are on the tables. Please take them home with you just as a little memento. There's a rather nice little aside today. June and Alison have been reunited after nearly 75 years apart, which is really lovely to see. So, a big round of applause for that, and a big round of applause for Zara and Alison, if you'd like to come. Right, it's lovely, we've already given these guys the prezzies, little bracelets that they're wearing, but we'd like you all to show your appreciation. Fire a round of applause for our four lovely bridesmaids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, yeah, okay, hold on. Going in height order from Stretch Armstrong here down to Pipsqueak. We've got Anna, Amy, Hannah, and Elizabeth. Everybody give a wave. And finally, I'd like to thank, well, probably most importantly, I'd like to thank all you lot for coming here today and joining us. People have come from near and far, over land and over sea. And in all seriousness, it's absolutely smashing to have such a wonderful group of people that we can call our friends and family. On that note, there's some people that we would have loved to have had with us here today, but for one reason or another they can't be. So I'd just like to end on the biggest round of applause, which will be a combined toast if you can all get your glasses, and that's to them, and most importantly to all you lot here, to friends and family, everyone, to friends and family.
Friends and family.
Right, yeah, that's it from me. I'm arriving informed that the food is just arriving there soon. Janice and I will be getting on the dance floor because that's what it's for. Don't forget to get your picture taken in the picture booth. It's here for the next couple of hours, purely for insurance purposes. And if anybody's buying at the bar, mine's an Avacar and Lucas Aid. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
That was lovely speech,
Right, while we have everybody's attention, and the lights are on, so that's alright. So if you want to get your cameras ready, I'm going to invite Jess and Dave for a little bit of a dance, and everybody can get a nice little picture. You lost them. I think you need to leave that on. Where's Dave at?